Well, hello everyone. Today is here. Happy Throwback Thursday, and the rotation leads us to a Star Wars review, and this one's on what you're looking at: Death Star Troopers, or otherwise Death Star Troopers Battle Pack, and also a Kashyke Troopers / Kashyke Troopers Battle Pack from 2014, of course. So on the front of the box here, which I only have for Death Star Troopers, you see the Lego Star Wars logos and the Mustafar Darth Vader border, well, other version of it from the time, and also a picture of the set there is on the Death Star, and says new blasters, of course, since the blasters were all new for the time, and and recommend ages is 6 to 12. Set number 75034 has 100 pieces, and that is it for the front. And onto the back side of the box, we do have the two logos again, the set number, and also another highlight of new blasters and the features of it, and another position of the set and dimensions of the set, of course. And that is it with the box. And now onto the instruction manual, which same picture as on the front of the box and everything. And on the back, how to win on the online survey. And then advertisement of all the winter 2014 sets. And that one in particular, expect for next Throwback Thursday. And also these these 4 of which are all upcoming Throwback Thursdays. So look forward to that. And listed minifigs that come in each of the sets of this wave. And then lego.com/Star Wars, and the features of the set, and the pieces that come with the set, of course, and then the last building steps. And that is it with the manuals. And now into the minifigs. First up for Death Star Troopers is, of course, a Death Star Trooper, or otherwise Special Imperial troop that there is, which the torso print, leg printing, quite good standard fare that we see with most Imperials, and the helmet piece, same as we see in most other sets that there are, but if you look underneath, and also quite nice face printing with the comm link onto it, and also some nice back torso printing as well in there, and also is holding the stud shooters, which they used for a long time, or were all new for this time, where tap on this and launches a stud right off, and goes quite far. But unfortunately with these ones, the outer parts of which kind of got a little bit wider over time, so luckily they did do a new different version of it for 2022, so the newer version I kind of like a little more than this version of it, but that's just me. But yeah, and I'm sure some of you might agree to that. But yeah, and that's about it with this trooper, which you get 2 of in this set. And now moving on, and also include in this set is what you're looking at, 1 but also 2 Emperor Royal Guards, which did also come in a few other sets prior and after this one. But however, not only leg printing, but still well workable, and torso printing done quite good, and also the mask kind of part and plain black headpiece underneath, which same as we've seen for a long time, but otherwise still quite workable as is. And of course holding a certain spear or at least guard spear on there, which well fitting to that. And the cape, which is kind of a thick material to it. Oh, whoops. And not only back torso printing, but otherwise this is very well done, quite well done minifig. And that's about it there. And now on to the ones in Kashyke Troopers. Have the regular Kashyke Clone Trooper, which you get 2 of in the set, which, as you see, the torso prints, the torso leg printing all looks really good with the camouflage look, and then the visor part, which is in a regular green color, and all of which just great for how it is. Which major upgrade from the original 2005 versions for that. And also one big qualm is the arm pieces, which are in a darkish tan color, which would have been better in this olive green. But aside from that, still great how it is. And of course, holding the dual blaster with a trans blue stud on it. And then some nice back torso printing as well. And then underneath, same with all the troopers in this set, just the regular clone face. Well, this kind of one used from at this time until 2020, early 2020. But however, still workable just for clones. But yeah. And now onto the Clone Scout Trooper, which kind of similar torso printing as the other trooper, but also really good leg printing as well, with this nice camouflage effect, which this camouflage kind of look, which we later got to see on Avatar sets in 2022 and 3 as well. But however, kind of interesting seeing that here in Star Wars, and kind of continues on to the helmet piece, which kind of reuse of the like Scout or Imperial Scout Trooper ones, but luckily nice to see it used for clone troopers there. And then the visor piece, which on some of which it was kind of a little less as white, but this which white to fit on that, which really good for how it is. And then there's the back torso printing as well, similar to the other trooper. And that's about it there. And now, first up for the builds is this like kind of mini, or just mini kind of gun turret made for the Death Star Troopers battle pack, but however, kind of simplistic for how it is. And you have just a single seat that can rotate, and just enough space to fit your Death Star Trooper on there, of course. And it's all resting on this rounded plate that, which also seen in one of the Battlefront ones in 2016. And then as for the other side of this cannon, it was built quite good for how it is. And all resting on these groove bricks and slopes, and also this hinge part, which makes it go up and down for that. Although this whole assembly can kind of work out for like a microfighter version of an AV7 cannon, but that's just me. Yeah, and then also do have some Technic bits forming the barrel gun parts of it, and a couple flip fire missile, which you can actually also use as the actual flip fire missiles on top if you wanted, and also one side which a couple of dish pieces and a couple of pieces and a telescope piece, just acting as greebling to that. But if you notice this Technic gear and cone on the back, but if you tap on that and fires off the springler or the flip fire missile, which was quite common at this time. Even though later this year introduced sprinkler launchers to that. But yeah. And although this build was quite small, and a little simple, even though the first order one introduced 2 years later was kind of a little bit smaller for that. So, well, maybe small for battle pack, but kind of workable. And that is it with this build. And now onto the one included in the Kashyke Troopers battle pack, which from first glance looks just about like a mini swamp speeder. Well, 2010 version of it, and of course a design like this did also get carried on into the one that included with the 332nd battle pack in 2023. Like on the front part, which do have a couple of stud shooter that there are, but in fortunate case, these are which you eventually have to take off and put on the regular clone troopers for how that is. Although not sure why they kind of did that. Although would have been kind of simple, but to just put in just 2 more blasters for that, but whatever. And of course, both of which held on by this battle droid body piece, and then how are the plates and a couple clips kind of go onto it quite well for that. And also that little curved slope in there, and also a couple of jumpers in there, and then also a couple of curved end jacket slopes on this kind of spot for that. But unlike with that 2023 one, it did have the other curved slopes on there for that. Since of course jacket slopes were a little more common at this time, but yeah. And this can flip right open and have a open seat in order to put your clone trooper onto there as well. And also an odd thing, not at all any reverse tile, to have a little sticker piece or control panel piece on there. Kind of odd how that is, but whatever. And then the back part, which is just a couple of or a few basic Technic bits to it, and also a dish piece and astromech droid head and other kind of one on the back side, and does rotate around, of course. And also all resting on two other corner plates. And also underneath, which like most hover vehicles, does have the clear reverse tile pieces, well, curved rounded ones, and it does move around quite well with that. And that is about it with the Kashyke Troopers Battle Pack build. So now for my overall verdict is, I think these of which are quite good battle packs, like, well, the Death Star Troopers one, which is kind of a little bit which are kind of alright for a battle pack, like 2 Death Star Troopers and Royal Guards, even though they did come in a little larger sets and kind of barely much worth army building. But however, whereas for the Kashyke Troopers Battle Pack, at least great to have some unique variety of clone troopers, like especially with a great military look to some of them, which we did later get to saw in the 2022 and 3 Avatar sets, but at least kind of nice to see that here in Star Wars. But yeah, but however, and whereas for both the builds of which quite good, well, the Death Star Troopers build of which kind of a bit on the small side when it comes to that, but whereas the Kashyke Troopers Battle Pack one, I say quite good for how it is, and also one that is well worth army building. So in terms of army building, I think Kashyke Troopers one a little better for that. And whereas battle packs at this time, which were around $13 around there, and at that point, this was quite good. They were both quite good sets for how they are. And these which also has kind of good parts packs of like light and dark gray, and for the Kashyke Troopers ones, a little bit of dark red as well. And I also do kind of wish that there should have been like 2 more stud launchers to add to the clone troopers, so there can be ones on both them and the Swamp Speeder build. But whatever, maybe that would have bumped the price and piece count a bit. But yeah, and that's about it there. And so now, if any of you still have these sets from back in the day, well, I hope you had some good memories of them. And for those of you who haven't and are still looking to get these sets, or even army build these sets, then I say definitely pick them up. And for army building, definitely get as many of these as you can. But yeah, and that's about it with this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.